Welcome to We Drink and We Farm Things.
This is the farm comedy podcast that is an adult happy hour for the farming community.
We drink adult beverages, talk about the ups and downs of farming things, and give zero clucks about not having the perfect farm life.
We keep it real with you and share the mistakes we've made and what we've learned so you can feel less alone in this farm thing.
We drink things, we farm things.
Oh,
we drink
hey there, Sam.
Oh, hey there, Beth. What are you drinking this fine day?
So I am having some Christmas cheesecake coffee from my friends over at Ancient Valley Mercantile.
That sounds fancy.
Mm-hmm. It's delicious. I've discovered for the flavored coffees, though, we just do a couple tablespoons of the flavored beans and then a few tablespoons of the regular ones. And then that is the right balance, because otherwise sometimes the flavors can be a little overwhelming. So
Punch
on that
in the
one,
face.
yep, that is the way to do it. And it's delicious.
Yeah.
So what'd you open over there?
So I opened a Ski Patrol,
Mm.
which is a winter wheat ale from Brewery Vivant, which is in Grand Rapids.
Nice.
They have a lot of good beers, but I think we've probably gotten like 5 or 6 inches of snow in the past week.
Really? Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
jealous. I don't have
We
any
have so
snow.
much. And it was super pretty this morning because there was also like a fog too, because it's kind of warming up. It's gonna all melt probably by the middle of this week. But yeah, so I thought this was a fun beer to drink in honor of all the snow and in honor of finally having all of our water heaters plugged in and stuff, because I was
Nice.
tired of convincing myself that it was fine to have to deal with that every morning.
Yeah. I haven't plugged in my heaters yet. The chicken waterers I have plugged in because their waterers are smaller, so they freeze faster. The troughs are still doing just fine. I just nudge the edge of the trough and it cracks the thin layer of ice on top, and then the animals are good. So I suspect, though, I will need to plug mine in by this weekend. By the time this episode drops, I should probably be out there plugging them in.
Yeah, we've been in the 20s at night, so I'm out there in the morning with a pitchfork, which is a dicey situation.
I'm watching you in my head march out there with your pitchfork and step. I mean, what a way to start the day.
Yeah, it's a great workout. So I'd either, if the hose wasn't frozen, then I would just flip the waters and give everybody fresh water. But yeah, the frozen hose thing is just not my favorite.
No, that's my least favorite too. Yeah. Maybe we should have added a heated hose to this list we're about to give.
Yes. Also expensive, but probably so worth it.
So worth it. Our drink feed this episode is our friend Natalie Quist, and she is at Cloud Lover Fiber over on the Instagram. So cheers, lady.
Cheers. So before we get into today's super fun episode, we want to remind you that as you're listening to this, it is, what is the date that this drops? It is December 3rd. So that means that by December 5th, which is Sunday, you need to go to the Drink and Farm store and order any gifts or any holiday merch that you want delivered to you in time for Christmas. So that is our own personal cutoff date, is December 5th if you want it by Christmas, because we cannot control what happens after it goes into the hands of UPS, FedEx, USPS, Canada Post, whatever.
Can you say Canada Post?
I did. So most Christmas items we're just going to pull from the shop by December 10th. We do have a fun little banner on our website that says December 5th, but if you want any of that stuff, most of it's going to be gone by the next episode. So go grab it now. If you're a Patreon peep, you have access to a discount code.
You do
that and enjoy.
Yeah,
so
and
we got a lot of fun stuff.
We ship to international Patreon peeps also, because you just message us and we process your order manually, because our shop is not set up for international orders. We are not merch mavens. We are podcasters. No. We do our best
with farms and full-time jobs. So yeah, go grab it now. And then also if you need somebody that's like saying, hey, Bev, what do you want for Christmas? And you're like, crap, I don't know. And then you're like, oh yeah, Drink Farm has these awesome silly pints, or they have this awesome shirt that is always around, but I just haven't bought yet. You can send them links, or you can send them a link to a gift card.
That works too.
Yes. So speaking of gifts,
great transition.
Yes. This year we're going to give our version of a holiday gift guide. So we're going to talk about things that are maybe on our list or that we have that are farm related, that are drinking related, and then things for around the home, because we are people that have children and stepchildren and husbands and have a home and keep a home. And we like things to be easy in the home too. And cute. Yes.
We have homes.
Yes. We don't live in barns, contrary to popular belief.
My home kind of looks like a barn these days, but
yeah. Yep. Same here.
All right. So what's first on our holiday gift guide? Our first section is all about the farm, because I mean, this is Drink Farm, so I suppose we have to start there.
Yes. So an idea that you can give people or just experience yourself is the gift of grubblies. So you can go to grubblyfarms.com and you can go on an auto ship for feed or grubbly snacks. So really this might be more of a present for your chickens, but the convenience of the subscription is out of this world because you just don't even have to think about it.
That's right. And I've seen these really cute things on Instagram of stockings outside of the chicken coop with like grubblies and stuff in them. So that's a really good opportunity to just like treat your chickens to something fun and extra. If grubblies isn't a normal part of your chicken keeping repertoire, that is my suggestion. And you will enjoy them, I believe. An auto ship will make it easy. And we have a coupon code for 20% off. So you go to grubblyfarms.com and you use code DRINK and FARM, and it gives you 20% off your first order if you haven't tried them yet. Our next item on our holiday gift list is Meyer Hatchery. And it's because you can get poultry. Duh.
And they have all kinds of crazy things on there compared to some other poultry sites. So I believe they have swans.
I saw that. we're getting a pond this year, and I told Jared I wanted a set of swans, and he was like, "You are insane." I was like, "You married me."
I mean, geese are basically like trailer park swans. So, I mean, nothing against my geese, especially my Sebestibles. They're majestic. But yeah, so they have swans. They have some cool duck breeds. They have a ton of different kinds of chickens. So definitely check them out for that reason. But the other reason is they have a lot of other things too. And I specifically put poultry processing supplies on my Christmas list this year. And I did give direct links to Meyer Hatchery because my older brother was like, well, if I type in lung removing tool from my Amazon, that's going to make things look weird on my homepage. So I give him direct links to Meyer, and then the coupon code for that too is Drink Farm, and you get $5 off your online order. So you can use that on poultry too. But it felt kind of funny being like, here's direct links and here's a discount code for you. But hey, I asked for the lung remover and then a knife and then a pin feather remover too.
Oh, such a great idea.
Yes.
A future episode that we're going to do is putting together your kit for processing meat chickens, because spoiler alert, we spent an hour just looking for the knife we use because somebody grabbed it to clean fish, and it is not a fish cleaning knife, but it ended up in the fish cleaning stuff.
I wonder who did that and how that happened.
It was my father-in-law. It's okay though. All is forgiven because we found the knife, but we were panicking for a hot minute there because we were like, we got all these chickens and no way to get a good knife like real fast. So I'm excited about that lung cleaning tool too. I'm gonna have to look into that stuff because I need to build a proper kit.
Yeah, and you can totally use your fingernails, which is what I did. but they're so embedded into like the ribs that sometimes you get a good poke and it doesn't feel good. So I'm excited to hopefully get that. If he doesn't get it for me, I'll probably just buy it myself before the next round.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be nice, especially for a whole chicken to just wedge that up there and pull instead of rooting around with my hand in there.
Yep. Agreed.
So our next one is obviously Henny and Rue.
Yeah.
Can't skip them. We talked about them in our commercial before we started. So you know that there's a discount code for your first box, and that's Drink and Farm. You're going to get 10% off. So if you have somebody asking, you can have them give you the gift of chicken keeping supplies delivered to your door every month.
Yeah. And their gift options are super awesome because you can, someone can just gift you one box, or they can gift you 3 or 6 or whatever they want to do. So that makes it really convenient.
Yes, I do like that too. And there's all kinds of fun stuff in that shop as well. So it's a really great thing to put down.
Yep. And if you are needing some winter prep related gift ideas, our episode 178, we will link to it in the show notes, which will be at drinkandfarm.com/182. You can go check out that episode, and we linked to a ton of stuff in that episode that is useful for winter chicken keeping. And I know that if you put it on your holiday wish list, or give it as a gift to somebody else, that they won't get it until December. But I swear January, February, and March are our harshest winter months. So I find I can live without some stuff through December. But once January hits, man, it is so nice to have some of that stuff. So don't think that it's like too late to get somebody winter prep things, because it's useful still.
Yeah. And like right now, for example, testing a water heater doesn't really work unless it freezes over. Then you know that the water heater is dead. And we do have one that isn't working anymore. So somebody might be in that situation as well. So like Bev said, yeah, it's not too late. And it's also not too late to put Sweeter Heater on your list. Also one of our lovely sponsors. You can use code DRINKANDFARM, which is all lowercase, to get 15% off 1 or more heaters. And these heaters just aren't for chickens or baby chicks or baby ducklings or whatever. I have these hanging in my barn for my barn cats because they're incredibly spoiled, well-fed little minions. But we have the side mount one, rocking and rolling from them, and then a couple hanging around the barn too. So I can already use some more because they're just handy. And then if you have a little ham piggles like I do, who doesn't have the thickest fur, he doesn't get a cashmere coat. It's a good idea to hang something like that for them too, to have the option to cozy up if they're feeling a little chilly.
Yeah, for sure.
I put this thing down for myself, so I'll speak to it, and Bev can tell me if she agrees or not. But basically anything Carhartt. I live in it in the winter. I just got a new sweatshirt yesterday. So Monday, as of when we're recording this. And they have some really fun colors now too, and their sweatshirts and stuff. Like I got a really pretty purple one. And the reason I ordered it for myself at the time that I did was because I had a coupon for spending $100 on Carhartt earlier in the year. So I got $20 off. And the purple kept selling out. So I was like compulsively like checking it.
Oh yeah.
But their sweatshirts are super cozy. I have my coat that I wear every day in the winter. I'm going to get some overalls, and I love their hats and gloves and all that fun stuff too. So you really can't go wrong, at least for me. And I did literally put on my list like Carhartt for my mom this year.
Carhartt anything. And I'm glad that you mentioned this, because one of the things I've been telling myself I'm going to ask for every year is a pair of winter bibs, and I still haven't done it. I wore my snow pants out the other day to do chores just because the wind was like cutting through my clothes, and it was a really cold wind. But I do think that I need a pair of bibs, because then I can just pull them on over my pajama sweatpants and then throw my coat on and my hat. And I find that when I am dressed appropriately for the winter chore weather, I'm more likely to do it right.
Yes.
And do it well and spend more time out there, just like making sure that there aren't any problems or issues. When I'm rushing through things is when I tend to miss things. So
Yes. Totally agree. I
mhm.
went, I think, 2 years here without an appropriate farm jacket. Yeah. And that was
Mhm.
stupid.
Yeah.
It
It's
might
just
have been
like
3 years.
it's one of those things that you just don't think about it. But I'm trying to spend more time thinking of like what could make this easier, better, or more enjoyable. That's always what's
Yep.
on the top of my list, as far as taking care of the farm goes. Because when you have the right tools, you can just fly through all of your stuff. But when you're missing
Yes.
them, it just makes everything so much
Yes.
harder.
I agree.
All right, last thing on the list for the farm is something I added, and that is seed starting supplies.
Yay.
Yes. So one of the things I can always use more of is more grow lights. And we'll have links in the show notes to the grow lights that I like. They come in a 4-pack, which is super convenient because you can build a shelf or buy a shelf for your seed starting and just mount the lights right under them. And it's so convenient for indoor seed starting. And also my favorite trays and soil blockers. I'm going to do seed starting both ways this year. I'm going to use the little tiny hex trays,
Okay.
and I'm going to do some soil blocks to decide what I like better. Because soil blocks, I felt like kind of added a little extra labor to my seed starting. But it was nice to cut down on plastic. So I think it's going to depend on the plant because some plants didn't do as well in the soil blocks, but did better in the little hex trays. So
Okay.
so I'm gonna ask for some seed starting stuff. Not like I don't have a bunch of it already, but I'm constantly tooling with how I do things. So I'm gonna try some more stuff. Oh, I'm so excited for this section.
Yes. The
We're
drink
in
things.
Drink things, yes.
Yes. So the first thing on our list is basically anything from the Simple Goodness Sisters website.
Mm-hmm.
We did have them on eons ago. Actually, we've had them on twice.
We have.
And they're fantastic. And it's all farm to glass cocktail mixer thingies.
Mm-hmm.
And also they have a new-ish garden box. And you've gotten that before, right, Bev?
Yes, I am a Garden Box subscriber. So every quarter I get a full size of whatever their syrup is that they're featuring. But then I also get a miniature of, which is just like a half size of the full size of special mixes that might not make it into the shop because I might not be able to make enough of it. So you got like a variety of simple syrups, and they always give you like some glass rimmers or some things to put in to your drink. So like one of the boxes had the toothache plant in it, which is something that I've been wanting to grow for forever. And I have the hardest time starting those flowers. Those flowers just they have not been sprouting for me. But I'm going to try another seed source and see if I can get some more going this year. Because having a cocktail garden is just really fun, and I think super joy inducing. It's pretty and delicious and good for your cocktails. So the box has been really fun. But the other thing that's really cool about it is you get several cocktail recipes that are on like a really nice card. So I've been saving all my cocktail recipe cards. And my husband is actually the mixologist in the family because he's better at measuring things than I am. Like I make old fashions like by view, and then they tend to turn into doubles and triples, and then everybody's in trouble by the end of the night. He like
so you want Bev to be your bartender.
If you're looking to party, yes. But the recipes have been great. And they've really like helped mix up the way that we enjoy our cocktails responsibly.
Yes.
So
we may be a little biased with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to tell the listeners what the next item is?
Yeah, the next item is our silly pints because they are amazing. Yeah, Sam's using one.
Yes, well, I'm using one of the Bouncy Black, which they are discontinuing. So
Oh,
if you don't want one that's as busy as the blue Arctic Sky one or the Hippie Hops, this is a good option and it's limited. So yes, we are a little biased, but you know what? These have actually been selling really well. This was our Patreon gift for Gifty Peeps. And I think one or two of our Gifty Peeps have come back and bought the ones they didn't get
yeah.
and bought lids too. So I think that speaks for itself in that if you don't have one, you better go get one, because we only ordered a limited amount and they're actually sitting right behind me on the shelf over here.
Mm.
So go get them. It's a great Christmas gift if you know a fellow chicken keeper, or if you need to gift yourself to deal with the holiday stress and mix all your Simple Goodness Sisters cocktails in one of these.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. I love it because it's made out of like a material that gives. So if you drop your drink like while you're out on the farm, like no big deal. Your glass doesn't shatter,
Yes.
it just bounces and then you're good. You can pick it up. And so it's really like made for farm work, which is awesome.
Yes. Or even if you just have rude cats around that like to knock your glass over if you don't feed them fast enough. If you have one of those like I do, I highly recommend the lids as well, because it did a fantastic job of not spilling anything.
Oh, sweet. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. So the next item is something that I really like because I like efficiency, and it's an automatic wine bottle opener. So if you are not a fan of corkscrew or doing manual labor to drink, I highly recommend you get one of those, because you just set it on top, push a button, and then it's going to take that cork right out for you. So 10 for 10, highly recommend that.
That's amazing.
Yes.
The last item on our drink list is the Drinking with Chickens cocktail recipe book. I received this as a gift.
Me too.
Yeah, one of my friends, her sister owns a bookshop, and so she grabbed a copy of it for me, like right when it came out. And oh my gosh, the book is beautiful. So it's just a really nice, like coffee table book, or a nice, beautiful book sitting on your bookshelf. But the recipes in it are really good. Some of them are a little bougier than I'm used to. And some of them, the ingredients are a little harder to get. But she does teach you some cocktail techniques in it, which is really handy. And also shows you like a lot of the really good cocktail tools, because that's one of the things that's usually missing when you're learning how to create nice, beautiful craft cocktails that are also delicious, is you need the tools and the ingredients. And she kind of gives you some ideas on where to get them and what kinds of things you need, which are super handy. Plus her photography and the pictures are just fun.
Yeah. And I really like that there's a section for non-alcoholic cocktails. And it's literally like, ha ha ha, it does not exist. So I like her humor.
Yeah, her humor is really good. But if you wanted to turn any of her recipes into non-alcoholic cocktails, you can get that seed lip. It's like a vodka substitute.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be the thing that you substitute for the liquor so that you still get your cocktail. It's not just like sugar, water, and juice. But it doesn't have alcohol in it. So that is an option if you're NAing for, especially for January, dry January.
Yeah.
Is a thing.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do dry January this year.
Oh, not a bad idea. I mean, Bev's just been doing dry every week, most of the weeks anyways.
I'm doing make room in the refrigerator for Christmas food season. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. All right. So next we're doing for the house.
Yes.
And I have no idea what this first thing is. I mean, I can guess what it is. So I'll let you talk about this one.
So the first thing on the list is the Hamama microgreen kit. And it's just a really beautiful way to grow microgreens inside the house. They have these quilts. They call them seed quilts. So you don't have to mess with soil. They have an option for a really nice like ceramic growing dish for them, so you can make fancy looking ones. So this is a
Nice.
really good idea for a gift for yourself or for someone else. If growing microgreens easily during the wintertime is something that you think that they would be interested in. And I think the kits look really beautiful and they work really well. And I got the idea for them from my friend Deanna. She's over at, she has the Talk Farm to Me podcast and the Accidental Farm podcast. She has 2 podcasts as well. And she talked about that on one of our Instagram lives. And it sounded really cool and it looked really cool too. And she's been using it and she says she really likes it. So I'll take that as a nice recommendation, and I'll probably be gifting some of those, and I might get one for myself, even though I grow microgreens in the soil. I think it would be fun to have some pretty ones like out in the kitchen.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, and the next one is one of mine too. Every year for Christmas, I get a donkey yoga calendar. My husband gets it for me. Oh, and I post the photos in the group. I did for all of 2020 because I felt like we just really needed it in 2020. Every month on the 1st, I posted a photo of the donkey of the month. And they were just hilarious. And I didn't do it for 2021, even though I had planned to, but maybe I'll do it for 2022 because each year the calendar is different and has new donkey yoga poses in it. So yeah, I love it. Highly recommend. 5 stars.
And on that note, my mom always gets us kids calendars. So Mom, if you haven't bought mine already, definitely look forward to another cow calendar, because I'm looking at the one from this year and it's on December now. So thinking about next year. But any farm related calendar really is my jam because I like to look at cute pictures while I'm working my big kid job.
I actually have 2 farm calendars in my office. One is a goat calendar and the other one is the donkey calendar. My donkey calendar, I write all my PTO and holidays and like important things that I need to know at the beginning of the month on. My goat calendar, I track the goats' heat cycles on.
Smart.
Yeah.
Like
so at a glance, I know if I need to go out there and check tails or not.
Nice.
The next thing on the list is an adorable houseplant shelf. And if I were recording in my office, I would be able to show it to you because I bought myself one last year and I absolutely love it. I got it off Amazon. It's not super big. It's got a little hanging bar on it, so you can put some hanging plants on it. But it's just a really nice place to display some houseplants and maybe a little microgreens thing. And it just really spruces a space up. So I wanted to make sure that people had it on their list, or if anyone's looking for ideas for a fellow houseplant lover out there, this adorable houseplant shelf is just the best.
Nice.
And the next, this kind of feeds into the next one, is pots for houseplants. So I got a really fun one that's a face. It's like the bust of a female, and the head is where you put the plants. So I did string of marbles. So I put like some Spanish moss in there and some string of marbles, and it looks really cool.
Cute. I'm jealous. I have 0 houseplants because cats. So now I'm like, maybe I need this adorable houseplant shelf because if it's up out of the way.
Oh yeah. Well, so mine is on the ground. Like it's a shelf. It's like a standalone shelf. But I'm sure they have some that you can mount on the wall for sure.
Really put in front of my window or something.
That's what I do.
Look after Christmas. I need to stop gifting to myself.
But gifting to yourself is really fun. I'm a big fan
myself
of it.
so much.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
10 out of 10.
The other pots that I really recommend for gifts are Coco and Seed. She's been one of my favorite places to get like pots from, And she has a very specific kind of pot that I really love. And it's a, gosh, I should have brought one in here with me. I'm failing all over the place today. Um, but it is a hydroponic type of pot. So she sends
Ooh.
you, and it's just a really beautiful design too. There'll be a link in the show notes. You can go check it out. Check it out. But you could plant flowers in there if you wanted to, but her thing is really about growing food indoors. So if you want a little micro
Oh.
tomato plant or a little like Swiss chard to throw in with your breakfast omelet, that's what she really intends these for. But they're really modern looking. They're on these beautiful black like metal legs, and they're
Oh.
really nice like colors. And they're plastic. So if you knock them over, no big
Oh.
deal. And if like, so they're easy to ship. If you drop them, no big deal. And they're light, so you can move them around really easily. But those are my 2 pot recommendations.
Okay. Not the Mary Jane kind of pot. people.
No.
So, since I was just talking about gifting to myself, I'll admit that I finally broke down. I mean, I've done pretty good. I've been aware of these Gemmy outdoor lights at TSC for years now, and I've never treated myself, but this year I did. So they have like the outdoor light up chickens,
Mm-hmm.
but now they also have like these 3 cute chicks that have like little earmuffs on. So I got that. It was on sale. It was like 30% off or something. So that was my excuse. But then there's this other one that's a little present and a baby goat standing on the present.
Oh my gosh.
So I got that too. But I didn't get the big goat and I didn't get the chicken. So I had them all in my cart, and it was like with the discount, like $200. And I was like, I can't justify this. So I took 2 things out and it was under 100 then. So I was like, okay, I can justify that a little bit. So I did that. So that is out there in the world, in the universe, if you want to ask for that sort of thing, because you can always put it away and then pick it out next year, and it'll be like a brand new thing for you to use next year. And then you won't have the temptation to treat yourself because you wouldn't have used it yet. At least that's my logic.
Yeah,
And,
I like it. I need to get some of those. I just barely got to talk Jared into reindeer for our front yard though. So, and that was, gosh, I think 2 or 3 years ago. We haven't added anything since then. So I'm probably due for something new.
Yeah, we have some reindeer that my in-laws gifted up to us. So it's like secondhand, but I don't care. I like secondhand decor. And my mother-in-law has pretty good taste in that sort of stuff too. So when I get it, I generally love it. So I got some fall stuff too this year. That was super cute. So yes, I like to slowly grow that sort of thing, because some of that stuff's kind of expensive too. And it's hard not to feel like you have to do it all at once, but you really don't.
Yeah, I usually get myself 1 new thing a year, sometimes 2, depending.
Yeah.
And the last thing for the house, both Sam and I have it. And before we were recorded, we didn't realize that we both had this. But it is by far the greatest Christmas tree stand you will ever have in your entire life. And this is for you live tree folks. It's the Crinner Christmas tree genie, and it'll hold, gosh, I don't remember how big of a tree it will hold, but it will hold a big ass tree, because it is the XXL one.
Yes, and that's the one we both have. They do have smaller ones.
Yep.
But my logic was, I don't think we're gonna stay in this house for forever. And my dream house has really big ceilings, kind of like Bibs' house has, like huge ceilings. So I opted for the more expensive, bigger one, because I'm manifesting my future.
I like it. That's a good way to manifest.
That's what I'm telling myself.
Plus the price difference to get the smaller one doesn't necessarily
I think it was like $10-20.
Yeah. And then you have the biggest, and because you can put a small tree in the XXL thing, it doesn't matter. But it's just really cool too, because it's got a reservoir for the water and a little indicator, so you know when you need to water your tree, which is something that I always run into. That's a problem. It's super sturdy. It's really easy to crank your tree into it. So like if you find yourself arguing or bickering with your significant other about whether the Christmas tree is going to fall over or how to put the Christmas tree in the Christmas stand, this stand is for you.
Literally took 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And we had like one of those cheap ones with the screw-ins from Walmart, which worked fine last year because
That's what we had last year too.
Yeah. So it was really idyllic when my tree was like perfectly symmetrical. And this year ours has a big old booty and it's like heavy on one side. So it wanted to tip. So we got it in there finally after 30 minutes of bickering, which we don't really fight. So that's incredibly stressful for me when we get tense like that, because it just normally doesn't happen. And then my husband goes hunting and it falls over. Luckily nothing was on it.
That's good.
Yes. So we like propped it in the corner and waited for this printer to come. So the one we have is over $100, and you might be thinking, you guys are insane, but no, it's so easy. Like, and this one fits 2.5 gallons of water in it.
Oh, that explains why it took me so long to fill it up. I was trying to fill it up with a 32-ounce cup, and I was like, I've done 6 trips already. I'm done.
Yeah.
Jared's like, did you put water in it? I'm like, I did, but I'm done. It was taking too long.
And there's sand in there too. So that thing is not going anywhere if it's completely full of water, and it's got like, the thing is like 7 pounds, I think.
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot about this Christmas tree stand, but you know what?
It's amazing.
The seasons are stressful enough. If you can swing it, get this Christmas tree stand.
Yeah. Highly recommend it. 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Last year's Christmas tree, we held it up with feed bags on the stand because it was a taller tree than we got this year. And it was too tall for the cheapy Walmart stand that we had. Yep. And so we had to improvise so that the tree didn't fall over. But gosh, I mean, all of December, I feel like I was stressed last year about the tree falling over. This year, we plopped it in, we cranked it. Jared finished filling the water thing up. I pushed it just to see what would happen because there's nothing on it yet because we haven't had time to decorate.
Yeah.
The thing didn't budge. And it's a pretty we got it's between 8 and 9 feet. So it's not the biggest tree. It's not as big of a tree as we had intended.
But it's a big tree.
But it's a big tree. Yeah. And it's a big fluffy one. So it's kind of heavy.
It's so cute.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. My drink pick will be on my tree.
There you go.
It'll be up my tree.
I described it as it looks like the Grinch after his heart grew.
It's so like fluffy.
A fluffy, happy tree. Yeah. If Bev were a tree or a Christmas tree, this would be best.
Man, we had so much debate about whether or not to go with that different looking tree this year, but I remember you had a fluffy one last year too. Was yours a white pine?
No, mine was a conkeler.
Oh, okay. That's right.
And unfortunately this year, all of theirs were, they must have been really popular last year, or maybe they had a lot of death in their tree farm. But there was like one that I kind of regret not getting to use as my farm tree because it was so damn cute and it was shorter. But I was like, you know what? Somebody else is going to grab it, or it's going to grow even more for next year, and I'll come back and get you then. But yeah, so this year we went blue spruce, which is the tree my mom usually gets. So I really like the smell of that one, and it reminds me of Christmas because that's what I always smelled when we would bring the tree home. So that was kind of fun, and Matt picked it out. So if it's terrible and horrible, I just get to blame him because it's already kind of, you touch it and it sheds needles already. So we're off to a great start.
Yeah. Those fluffy ones have lots of dead pine needles in them. And we blew it out with the what's it called? The yard blower thing.
Yeah. Leaf blower.
It's a leaf blower.
Not a snow blower. That doesn't make sense.
We don't own a snow blower. I think we just use the leaf blower when we need to blow snow. Yeah, so we got a bunch of it out, but they're still dropping those dead needles on the floor, and they're really long needles. So the vacuum cleaner doesn't like them. But anyways, those are my Christmas tree woes, but I still love having a live Christmas tree. It makes me so happy.
Yes. Agreed.
Oh gosh. So that was our fun list gift guide episode. Join our group and tell us what you would like for the holidays. Because I'm sure that you guys have some ideas that we didn't think of. And send this episode to your significant other or a friend or your parents if there's something on it you want.
The show notes.
Yeah, or at least the show notes. Yeah.
Also, be sure to leave us a review over on Apple Podcasts, or you can call us on our voicemail and leave us a review that way. That's going to count as well. We've gotten a couple, and we've gotten a couple on Apple Podcasts too, since we started talking about that voicemail option. But we're going to pause and start reading those again in January, because we're going to try to kind of batch some of these episodes. So if it seems like a lot of time hasn't passed since we've been talking to each other, that's why. Because we all like a break around this time of year.
Yep.
Because it's insane.
And be sure to keep sending us your can't evens. We're not reading them in the regular episodes at this time, but we do read them over on our minisodes. So post them in our Facebook group. Just to hit or type in hashtag can't even in the description of it. That way we can find it really easily, and we'll read it and talk about it and put up a picture or video of it in our YouTube video for that minisode, which is super fun.
And we have a series over on Patreon called Straight No Chaser. Now, this series is only available to our patrons at the $5 level or above. So for more information, go to patreon.com/drinkandfarm, because this is a great way to support the podcast.
And hit the subscribe button or the follow button and download the episode when you listen. This helps more people like you find the podcast.
And while you're listening to us and updating your list, checking it twice, trying to figure out if you're naughty or nice, take a screenshot, share it in your Instagram stories, and tag at Drink and Farm. We'll send you a promo code just for that episode. That'll give you a percentage off in our shop just in time before we pull all of our holiday merch.
And don't forget to take a look at the show notes. You'll find links to every item we discussed here on this episode. And you can get to that by going to drinkandfarm.com/182. That will have the full and complete show notes. Will also be a link to a survey to tell us how we're doing. It's totally anonymous. And all of our social media, our merch shop, all that good stuff. Fun ways to connect with us.
So that's it.
Yeah, that's it. We hope you get everything on your list because it's fun.
Happy Hanukkah to any of our Jewish listeners.
Oh yeah, that started this week, right?
I think it's done next Monday.
So okay.
6th, I think is what my calendar is telling me. But yeah, I hope you had a happy Hanukkah if you celebrate that. Yeah. And until next time,
drink,
farm,
and give 0 plucks.
We
Bye
drink
now.
things, we farm things.